And a very good morning to you from whichever part of the world and the country that you're tuned to. The Afarmers Media Diagnostic Tuesday. I'm your host, Jackie Moore, as usual. Very energetic in the studio and happy to be here. It's a new month of 2021, March the 2nd. I don't know what memories you have. I have so many that I cannot even finish mentioning some of them. Today, as you know, it's Diagnostic Tuesday. We have a lot that is lined up for you, including scouting for pests and diseases among the cauliflower crop. Cauliflower is one of the vegetables that most people are not aware of. So we'll be having a short video or feature that will be showing us one of our in-house agronomists who had shown us some time back about the cauliflower crop. Just to take you briefly on some of the stories that are making headlines this morning. Today is gonna be a memorable day. As you know, much this year we'll be celebrating the first anniversary since the corona pandemic was reported in Kenya. So today is going to be a very historic day. Most of the people are waiting tonight. The first batch of the long-awaited COVID-19 vaccine is set to arrive sometime later tonight or in the evening. Also, this week or late last week, we saw the cabinet approving the revival of 4K clubs in schools. And also today, there's one of the stories that I've seen that is going to be making headlines about the National Cereals and Produce Board, that is National Cereals and Produce Board bill that is aimed at replacing aged infrastructure at a cost of 1.8 billion. So these are some of the stories, agricultural stories that we're waking up to this morning. But before we get into discussing the stories, let's get into Diagnostic Tuesday. And I have one of a very interesting guests. He said he's coming from Teso, all the way from Teso. I don't know where Teso is, but he's going to tell us exactly Teso is in which county. Don't say I'm a bit shady. I've not been able to travel all the 47 counties, but I hope this year one of the counties that I'm going to visit during my farm visits is Teso County. Is it a county or a sub county or a?
It is a sub county. It is under Busia County.
It's under Busia County. Teso sounds like those Nandi kind of communities.
Not really. It is Teso. In fact, if at all talking about Teso as a community, we are Nilotes. We are under plain Nilotes.
So you eat a lot of fish.
So we eat fish. We eat mostly we were pastoralists. So we eat a lot of meat and all sorts of such.
You speak Luya or?
We speak Teso as itself.
How do you greet people in Teso?
Bi Abakiro.
That's a new one. It sounds like Sudanese. Thank you so much for joining us, Justus. Probably you could start by introducing yourself. Tell us a bit about who is Justus.
Justus is a Kenyan, like any other Kenyan. I'm born in Kenya by nature. You know, there are those ones by registration, but I'm born in Kenya by nature. I'm from Western Kenya. That is Busia County and Teso South constituency. Or sub-county. Nowadays it is being called sub-county and all that. So I'm a student. I've also done this agriculture in high school. We do it even daily in our homes. Yes. So I'm a graduate as well in the media industry.
Okay.
Yes.
So you've talked about Tesos being plain nilotes.
Yes.
There are different kinds of nilotes. I remember in GHCRE, those ones studied for a guy. I've tried to reveal my age. I'm not that old. I'm not that old. I'm in CBC.
Yes.
Plain nilotes. And one of the crops that is grown in Teso is maize.
Maize, yes, exactly. We do grow maize. Like myself, since my childhood, I've really fed on maize, like ugali we've been eating. Though we also have other foods like mihogo, this cassava, but majorly we've dealt with maize. Yes.
So you said you've done maize since you were young.
Yes.
Let me just ask you one of our funny questions. Have you ever thought of asking yourself what kind of maize have you grown? The variety.
Majorly, the variety we've grown is just this normal white maize. Though in our place, I've also seen several varieties. There's this variety that is purple in color. There's another one that is pink in color. All those varieties are there. But what we've dealt with is majorly like those days whereby we didn't have this Western seed, this modernized seed.
Yeah.
We've been using that local one. Yes.
Okay. So, probably could you be knowing the steps it takes when you're planting maize?
Yes, I know the steps that. Let me just talk on behalf of my fellow people from there, how we've been doing it. So, first of all, like when we talk about our traditional way of doing it, before we come to this modern one, traditionally we've been taking this maize, the maize cobs. You see, you hang it maybe in a kitchen. It stays there for some time.
For that has
the maize seeds, yes. The maize cobs that have the maize seeds. After just harvesting, you take the so-called the best, well-nourished best ones. You select, then you hang them there. They stay there to until the next season. So when the season is ready, you come, take them, and cob them, then plant. But majorly the procedure we've been using, in Western Kenya, we have a lot of rain. And those seasons, most of the planting seasons have got rain and sufficient rain. And at times, it rains more, then it destroys even the crops. But that is the other challenges which we'll be discussing later on. So you plow, we do plow, first plow, second plow. Then after second plow, we've been using our local manure from the cows and the animals, or rather the waste from home. You see, like tree leaves, after decomposition, we use them as we've been using them as manure. So after second plow, then we plant by applying manure. Locally we've been using just a step, like we've not been measuring like that is like the way it is being done modernly, but we've been just using our local djembes. You make a step, you make a hole there, then you drop your manure and your seedling. Yeah, not seedling, but a seed. Yes.
So you've said you usually place the cobs on top of the seedling. I'm trying to imagine the kind of seedling that you have. Probably explain the seedling.
Exactly.
And why the seedling. Why not dry it in a granary or a different place? Why the seedling?
Mostly we've been using, in fact, the kitchen, where mostly the kitchen area above where we are using for cooking. You see, so the reason as to why that place is usually being preferred is that when that smoke comes up, it is used as a storage sort of thing, whereby that smoke will not allow the seedlings to have the seeds to have those we normally have those insects which destroy the seeds. I hope you know those pests, small pests which destroy those
weevils
weevils. So the smoke majorly prevents the seeds from being attacked by the weevils.
Interesting.
Yes.
So you only do that for the seeds that are to be planted, be replanted.
Yes.
Why not the whole crop once it's harvested?
Not really. We don't have enough space up there. We don't have enough space up there, and then the other harvests will just be stored in granaries and all that.
Okay.
Yes.
Agronomist in the house, you'll have to tell me whatever just as is telling me. You'll have to come clean and tell us if it is true that the smoke that is gotten from the firewood can prevent the maize seeds from getting infested by pests and diseases. You're still watching The Morning Dew with me, Jackie Mo, and this is Afarmers Media. You can follow the conversation on our social media platforms at Afarmers on Facebook and LinkedIn, and Afarmers with a Z on Twitter, Telegram, and Instagram. Today we are talking matters to do with agriculture in Teso. Teso, I've been told, is in Busia County, western part of Kenya. We're getting to learn more about maize farming. We've started with maize farming. Now, just tell us, because today we are just talking about how to diagnose the pests and diseases in our crops.
Yes.
What are some of the pests that affect the maize crop in Teso?
We have so many pests, beginning with there's this pest which has just infested the whole of Kenya, grasshoppers.
Yes,
the locusts and the grasshoppers. You know, in our place we have even those grasshoppers, big ones. They do also attack maize. We also have even not only pests, even the cuckoos. They do attack maize in shambas. Like in our places there, we don't really have that organized manner of rearing these animals and livestock. But you will find that most of the livestock at times they get released. They go to the shambas and feed on crops. You know, that is also another challenge we've been facing there. But mostly these locusts. They are the ones which have really done us harm. Yes.
There's the biggest pest that most of the counties had talked about sometime last year, but the fall armyworm.
Yes.
Have you been affected by it?
Of
and
course.
How have most of the farmers dealt with it? Because the biggest challenge that most farmers were talking about was lack of a pesticide that could actually clear it out from the maize.
That fall armyworm is also there. I can't deny, because currently, mostly it attacks the western seed maize. So it is there, it is affecting. That one can't be denied because it is countrywide right now. Yes.
So how do you manage it in Teso?
Currently, we've tried a lot of pesticides, several varieties of pesticides, and it is not working. So some of our residents there have tried the ash, the natural ash, and it has worked.
Really?
Yes.
Just natural, any kind
this
of ash?
Yes. You just go and spray, not really spraying, but
pouring it.
You just pour some portion
on the maize cob or on the stem or on the roots.
Not really on the roots, but on top of that maize seedling. You know where those leaves are coming from, that side. So you go just pour some, because the worm itself affects the stem. Yes, the stem. So you pour it up there, because I'm told, there's a scientist who told me that these worms do come out at night, out of that stem. So they will come through the upper side. So when they do so, they will meet the ash, and the ash eventually destroys it. Yes.
Is there a timing that you should pour the ash? Is it in the morning, in the evening?
Preference is in the evening, and mostly when it is not going to rain. Yes, because when it rains, then the rain will wash it away.
Yes, very true. Most of the mistakes that the farmers do is they wait for a crop to be infested for them to act on it.
Exactly.
You, as a young farmer, when is the right time for someone to be doing scouting of their crops and for them to be acting on that particular kind of probably pest or disease?
On crops, scouting is a general thing. From the planting time, you'll be scouting until harvest. There's no specific time, because you may plant and the seedlings doesn't germinate. You see?
Yes.
Then you have to do it again, or you have to replant and do that. You see, it is just a general thing from the word go until harvest. Yes.
And have okay, let's talk about the extension services in Teso. Have they been effective? Have you ever been probably served by one of the extension services from the county government? And do you also have agronomists, access to agronomists?
We have them, but it is a bit tricky because most of the time when you call them, you may be told that there are few in the ground. Okay. There are very few. You may be told they are at Budalangi, they are at Nambale. They will be traveling back to this other side maybe next month. You see, it's a challenge because they normally say that they are few.
Okay.
Yes.
So what needs to be done in your opinion?
In my opinion, it is generally.
Is it that the extension service, the extension service providers are few, and more trainings needs to be done amongst the young people for the expansion of these people, or should there be more an effective section of agronomists who work hand in hand with the extension officers?
I think there must be enough number of agronomists who can work with them, because basically there is no, in my opinion, I think there's no way whereby a county government can have few officers in a particular department or in a particular field. There's no way, because every county knows, even a country knows that this number of people are supposed to be serviced or served by this number of servants, public servants. You see, so it is all about the agronomists. More trainings have also to be done, and I also urge the young people, the young farmers, to at least look for means to equip themselves with these skills. You know, there are some skills you don't really need these professionals.
Yes.
You can do them by yourself. Yes.
Okay, so we are talking to Justus as another difficult name.
It is Inya.
Inya.
Yes.
Justus Inya, all the way from Teso, and we're just talking about matters to do with agriculture, and to know about the farming activities that happen in Teso. If you're coming from Busia County, you're well represented here. You can join the conversation, follow our Facebook page at Afarmers Media. I can see Jill Zambika saying he's watching from Kitwe, Zambia. Morning, Jakimo. Morning to you, Jill. How are you? And Lawali Yusuf is saying he's watching from Nigeria. Wow. You can tell us how you say good morning from Zambia and Nigeria. In Nigeria, I only know Ogao and Total Wahala. What do you know?
Oga, that one is just common. That one is more common.
Yes. So this is Diagnostic Tuesday. We'll be taking you into the farm. I told you earlier we'll be showing you the cauliflower crop, how it is grown, the different diseases, pests, and how to scout for the various pests and diseases in the cauliflower crop. As we take a short breather here in the studio to get to take you into the farm and get to know more. So keep watching Afarmers Media. We'll be right back.
Cauliflower is a cruciferous vegetable that is naturally high in fiber and B vitamins. Cauliflowers are annual plants that reach about 0.5 meters and bear large rounded leaves. As desired for food, the terminal cluster forms a firm succulent cud or head that is in form of a cluster of flowers. Cauliflowers do well in fertile well-drained soils that are rich in organic matter. Just like other plants, cauliflowers are also affected by different kinds of pests and diseases which can hinder its growth, including unfavorable climate and growing conditions.
The many problems you will see in cauliflowers, and this one is just one of them. You can see how the problem is. It's called riciness. You can see it's living in a chana, that is, yeah? Living each other. As you always say. But this one is usually caused by low temperatures. Yes. Low temperatures. Low temperatures during planting leads to this problem. So you have to make sure during planting you have favorable temperatures for your crops. Always talk to your agronomist when you plant, so you can know when to plant what and what works when. Temperature will depend on your area, the area you're in. Because I can't tell you we are in Nyandarua, I want to grow this, and you are in somewhere in like in coast, it's too hot. Yes, so that will depend also in your locality. Yes, and also if you're in those climates where it always changes, so you have to know when is the cold season. In cold season you can't do this because of A, B, and C. And if it's too hot, you can't do A, B, and C. So always, that's why I'll just have an agronomist. Will guide you through it. Yes. And also do your market research and know what works where before you grow something as a farmer. Don't just do guesswork. There's a lot of pests that attack cauliflower. The most notorious one is aphids. Aphids will circle your leaves, and one thing you'll know, there's aphids on your leaves. They're always curling. Yes, they will eat, or they will suck the sap out of the leaf, and now when they are too weak, they start curling. They curl inwards. So that's how you'll know you have aphid attack on your farm. Yes, and now what you can do to control aphids on your farm is always keep them in check by spraying. There's always a chemical solution to it. There's a biological, and then there's IPM. Yes. The perfect head, I'll say it looks like this one. Look at this. It's perfectly round, and it doesn't have any spots on it, and it's intact. That's what makes a perfect head, and is a good size, good market size. Not too small, not too big, not overgrown, just perfect. Yes.
My sound is it working now? Yes. So today I've brought you a farmer all the way from Teso. He's also a presenter. If you heard the voice, my friend, he's giving Jeff Koinange some run for his money. Yeah, can you do like an advert
Of course.
for maize?
For maize? Yes.
Do one.
One advert for maize?
Yes.
Which farm? For which company?
Afarmers Media.
Afarmers Media. Oh, welcome all of you that are watching. We are bringing you one big show, just one big show for farming, and this is just as in you're bringing you one on maize farming. Can you just keep tuned? Don't log out.
You heard him right. No, the voice is just a killer voice, if you ask me. Now, there's some good news. The first COVID-19 vaccine is set to arrive in Kenya today evening.
Yes, tonight.
Is that some good news? What are your thoughts about the vaccination?
First of all, it is good news. As long as, mostly I normally say, as long as it is safe for consumption or it is safe for our bodies, it is a good project. However, I don't know how much they have spent. What we normally scared of is this kind of scandals. Yeah. But if it is safe for any Kenyan, it's a good project. Because these are, by the way, this disease has really affected this nation. It's really affected us economically. and life-wise. Yes.
How were the people in Teso and the whole of Busia County affected? Because you're one of the counties that are bordering, the border counties that are bordering other countries.
In fact, there we are bordering Uganda, and it has been really a tricky situation.
But I saw Museveni was upbeat about Corona when it started. He used to have the lives, and there's one time when he was joking and showing people how you need to keep safe during this pandemic.
He was just doing that on social media, but in reality,
things are grounded different.
It's about sana. Because there we've been having a challenge. You can be arrested by Ugandan police, and you can be arrested by Kenyan police on just a mask. If you don't have a mask, you're being arrested, and sort of things. So we've had also had a time because the police in Kenya, in fact, they were even coming to our homes. People were being arrested even in their chambers, in their gardens.
Like in the gardens, you have to put on a mask.
Yes, you're being arrested.
Yeah, that's serious.
It is as serious as it is. Probably if somebody is from Busia is watching, can send in a comment on that.
What?
To confirm, yes.
I've never heard of that, but I never thought that even in the chambers, people need to wear masks.
You are to put on your mask and put it properly.
What?
Yes, and in fact, making things worse, in a chamber, we were to observe social distancing.
Really?
Yes.
Kindly, farmers, you need to share this information. As we are commemorating and going to commemorate the whole pandemic and how it has affected us, kindly share pictures. I need to see that masks and social distancing amongst farmers.
It was mandatory. Yes, the police were coming to the villages to investigate on that, and found minus a mask, you're being arrested.
What?
Yes.
And then you have to pay a fine.
You have to pay a fine. If you have the cash, you can give it straight away. You are being released.
Okay, we are laughing, but this is a very serious. This is a very serious issue.
Yes. People are being beaten on roads.
What?
Yes.
And how is the situation now? 1 year ago, as we are going to commemorate 1 year since the first case was reported.
We thank God because the situation is not as tough as it is. As it was at the beginning of March and all that. It was really tough, but now at least we can. In Swahili, they normally say, unaweza pumua kidogo. You can breathe a bit. We were just on a tough situation. Economically, people lost jobs, even in our area there. You see, like most villages, we normally have, we right now with the counties, we have professionals of different levels. Yes. We most of the professionals were just at home because offices were locked down. Yeah, the schools and all that. So people were just suffering. The villages, there was a lot of suffering. But thank God, we were again in the village where we don't buy food. We don't pay for rent. Then that was a bit uplifting. Yes.
But then how easy or hard was it for farmers to transport their goods? Because I'm assuming being one of the countries that are bordering Uganda and probably parts of Tanzania, how easy or hard was it for you to transport your goods within the counties and even out of Kenya?
In fact, coming first of all, within the counties, it was tricky because we were from the border and we are from the border. So you can imagine taking produce to maybe Bungoma County, to Nairobi County, where it was a no-go zone. It was just as hard as it was because basically coming from the border again, you were to test twice. In fact, if you are coming from the other side, maybe you had gone for something or for a product from the other side of the country, you are to test from that side, then test from the Kenyan side. So and it was so expensive by then. It was so expensive to test. I think we can confirm this with these trailer drivers. You just saw on social media how the Malaba border and the Busia border was really congested with these vehicles because testing was it was slow, expensive, and the truck drivers were even negotiating with both governments to lower down the testing price, it was too high. Yes.
How fast was the whole activity of testing and getting the results?
It was too slow, and it was mad with corruption.
Wow.
The more you are known, or the easier you have to drop your hand into your pocket, the easier you'll be tested and leave that place. So if you don't have cash by that time, or if there's nobody in the testing line who knows you, then you have to wait.
Wow.
Yes.
So we're still on Diagnostic Tuesday, and we were just discussing some of the stories that are making headlines today. And as I told you also, today is a good day because the first COVID-19 vaccines are set to arrive in the country later on tonight or sometime today evening. And the counties that are set to benefit are those within Nairobi, the
Yes.
metropolitan.
And that is again another devastating thing, because now we from far ends, from the far ends, it will take us around the third dose or the third vaccination period, because I'm told the first is targeting Nairobi and the surrounding counties. Second again will go to the mostly to these there are groups being targeted. Then the third one, that is the one that will now reach us. We don't even know if that third will reach us, but we are just hopeful.
It will reach. It must reach.
We are just
I know
hopeful of that.
The Ministry of Health has worked something out, and I'm sure they because I'm seeing that the country is set to receive 1.02 million doses of the vaccine, and priority will be given to health workers countrywide. And the doses will be the first batch of the 4.1 million expected. I'm sure by the time okay, let me just go through. According to the CS, 1.02 million doses will be the first batch of the 4.1 million expected within the country, ultimately planning to import 24 million doses. The vaccine will arrive in the country through the COVID-19 Vaccine Global Access COVAX facility. And healthcare workers in the 47 counties are among the targeted group to receive the first injection. So, Msife Moyo, in the first phase of the vaccination program will run between March and June, and 1.25 million people are expected to be injected. Also, 9.7 million Kenyans above the age of 50 and those above 18 years with underlying conditions will be vaccinated in the second phase between July 2021 and June 2022. Then the final phase, 4.9 million Kenyans, especially the vulnerable populations, will receive the injection. The health ministry said it will hire more than 23,000 health workers, including 8,000 health volunteers, to ensure the three-phased vaccination process runs smoothly. So let's just pray and hope that the vaccine will reach us wherever we are, but continue staying safe, keep social distancing, always wear a mask, and sanitize.
Exactly.
Sanitizing is very important.
Very.
And today I've also learned, even in farming, social distancing ni muhimu.
Yes.
Na mask. Na mask. Eh?
Yes. So that is probably your loved one. You are from one bed going to the garden.
Yeah.
But still you are told you have to social distance yourself.
Yes.
You see? And it is again a
you know that those people who are symptomatic, probably you never know your loved one is asymptomatic and you have an underlying condition. So the disease takes like 14 days for it to be seen. So just keep the social distancing as you're told by the health ministry. Yeah.
But with this
follow
vaccination,
instructions.
Yes. But with this vaccination, we are hopeful that every Kenyan will access this vaccination. And again, 2022 being a year of elections, and we know how Kenya is usually when it comes to such things, we still pray that let this vaccination reach each and every Kenyan, because people have really suffered.
Yes.
Many are right now have died.
Yes.
Have left us.
Yes, that's very true. Now, coming back to our story, we were talking about maize farming in Busia County.
Yes.
We talked about the diseases. Now let's go to marketing. And the biggest challenge that most farmers talk about when it comes to crop farming is access to markets, and we've had the National Cereals and Produce Board, where most of the farmers have been complaining about the low prices, the board not being accessible. Most of the farmers lacked most places where to sell their crops, and there's a time I visited Kakamega County, and the farmers there were actually growing crops for their cows. And I was actually amazed, like, really, can that happen? A country that feeds on ugali on a daily basis, it's ugali, githeri, modokoi, mokimo, we all depend on maize. So tell us about market access.
Market access is a bit a challenge because we've been majorly, like in our area, we've been majorly dealing with our local markets, whereby you'll find that most of our farmers have been taking their produce to the local markets, sell them at I just see as a throwaway price, sell them at a throwaway price, because there are some other needs that you need to satisfy. So you just have to take to the local market, because the cereals board itself is not accessible. You have to have a link. You have to have somebody to link you through. If at all you may manage to be linked, then being paid is another challenge. You will, of course, supply your cereals, you will supply your whatever, but being paid now becomes a challenge. Yes. And then on the same thing, we also thank God that at our place we have a nearby border where some of the produce we've been transporting them abroad, Uganda and the likes of Rwanda and the likes of South Sudan. Though South Sudan of recent has not been accessible due to political wrangles in that country. But mostly Uganda has really helped us. When they run short of cereals, they come to the border, serve to them, or we even supply the cereals to their place. Yes.
So you talked about selling the cereals the local market. How much is a kg of maize when you're selling it locally, as compared if you were to sell it to the cereals board and exporting it, like you've said, to other countries?
In fact, we normally sell using a 2 kg can. Yes.
Because a gorogoro.
Yes, a gorogoro. That thing, you know it. And you know, when maize is in plenty, that can even go at as low as 50 shillings or 70 shillings.
Wow,
you can imagine.
Price.
That's a really throwaway price. So you're not even gaining. Can you imagine the seed itself? You buy it at, to say, 600 shillings, but mostly 580, 570. So if you have purchased at that price, there's fertilizer, there's manpower, and you've not even calculated about transportation and all that, but you come and sell it at a throwaway price. So people are just going on loss. Yes.
So your message probably to county governments, because at the end of the day, most of the farmers are depending on county governments to assist them with extension services, to assist them with the inputs, farm inputs, and also create market access. That's your camera. Probably talk to your county government. So Peter Ojamong is your governor. Tell him something kuhusu wakulima. What is your voice?
I can tell Honorable Sospito Jamong, who is our governor currently,
and that, the CC of Agriculture.
Yes, and the CC of Agriculture and agriculture generally, that indeed farmers are suffering. The crop yields, of course, our land is blessed with fertility. It's really fertile. We get enough crops, we get enough yields, but now the market access is the real problem. Up your game in the county in terms of road access and market access, because the cereals board is not accessible. Kindly, Mheshimiwa, open for us the market access. If it returns to be the broad one, then to be safe, because I'm told right now the countries outside there are really eating ugali and the food products from these cereals and these locally grown foods. Kindly, Mheshimiwa, just do us a favor. We've elected you to represent us in all the aspects, not only in one aspect or two aspects. And we are Kenyans. We are even crying to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, kindly open for us this market. I know this market is open, but accessibility now, kindly.
And also, you could be talking about accessibility, but also trainings, because most of the people just know maize to be milled to make flour,
Yes.
but there's a lot of things that come from maize, like the oatmeal we eat,
Yes.
like the Weetabix we eat. There's a lot of things that can be made from just the cereal, the seed itself. So if young people like you get training on how to value add and come up with different products from the maize seed itself, then you can be able to create market.
Of course,
What's your take on that?
It is a positive thing, and some of our groups have even applied for these youth development funds for the same.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of delay. Told wait, is this and that and that. So that is still a challenge. Yes, because we need these funds so that we can set such like projects. And once one project is successful, how many youths are successful? Many youths, many people, many families will be successful. Yes.
Now that brings me to another story that I had earlier mentioned, that the cabinet approved the revival of 4K agricultural clubs in Kenya. Are you aware of the 4K clubs?
I am aware of the 4K clubs, though I don't have access to it, that deep access.
What exactly is it about? If you could briefly tell us about it.
These are the 4K clubs. These are clubs dealing with the groups, and mostly the government is targeting the groups to finance them in order to boost the agricultural produce. Yes.
So the approval was in line with the government's effort to steer ahead the nation to the adoption of smart agriculture. This endeavors to seeks to foster the interest of children in agriculture, so as to usher a new generation of techno-savvy agricultural players. I think there you're being challenged as farmers in Teso when you say that you put your maize cobs on the ceiling. So
Yes,
now they want techno-savvy people who can produce new or generate new seeds for farmers to grow, that you can be able to actually generate your own seed without using the local or traditional methods.
Yes.
Are you ready to embrace that?
Of course, we are ready. In fact, I brought that story because it is the thing I've been seeing our grandmothers, our grandparents doing when we've been growing up. But right now, with the modernization, we are also mutating. There's this thing of mutating to the new thing. We are now also mutating to the new methods. Yes.
So we'll be trying to get a hold of the ministry, someone from the Ministry of Agriculture, to take us through these new approvals and who are going to be targeted. Is it going to be the students or children in lower primary, upper primary, or is it in secondary schools? Right now we are in the CBC curriculum.
Yes.
And things are changing.
Really changed.
And students are actually learning online. They don't have to write and do a lot of things. It's just typing. If it is diagnosing a disease, they don't need to pour the ash. They just put the app there. It shows this is the disease and this is the kind of chemical that you use. Yes, so I think it's something that needs to be embraced and encouraged among our youth and the young people who are coming up.
Exactly, because in fact, this thing, digital learning, has been really been pushed for so long. If it could have even come many years ago, then we could have been several steps ahead. But since it is now being embraced, it is good. Let our children, this new generation be digital. Let's do things the faster way as the outside world is doing. A project that has to take 10 days in Kenya takes months, because we've not been in that digital era, digital embracement. But right now I'm seeing things are now going as fast as possible. Because right now, if you release an information here, it gets to millions within a second. That is a good thing. Yes, we implement.
Very interesting, very interesting. Thank you so much, Justas Inya.
Yes.
All the way from Teso. I've managed to say the name. All the way from Teso. I really need to go to Teso. Now, apart from maize and cassava, what kind of fish do you have? Do you get fish from Lake Victoria, or you have the pond fish?
Currently, we have the ponds at Alupe. There's a nearby fisheries at Alupe.
Mm.
We have the ponds there whereby almost all sorts of fish are rare at that place.
Mm.
And then we also have Lake Victoria,
Mm-hmm.
which is also near to us. We get fish at the same time at that place
Mm-hmm.
because we get there. You've asked me about the type of fish. We have tilapia,
Mm.
we have catfish,
Mm-hmm.
we too have mudfish.
What's the difference between catfish and mudfish?
There's a difference.
Uh-huh.
I think it's appearance, mostly the color that is bringing. The mudfish is a bit darker.
The same shape with the mustache and everything.
Yes, it's just the same shape. But the mudfish is a bit darker and it grows more crazy. And it can also grow bigger than the catfish.
How big?
It can be as big as 10 kgs.
Kindly take us to Teso. kindly. You need to go to Teso to see this.
Yes, you can see them. When you just visit Adope Fisheries,
Mm-hmm.
there are those fish there. We have even tilapia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm. And Nile perch? I'm yet to encounter a farmer doing Nile perch because I've
Nile
never
perch
seen Nile
mostly
perch.
is being, we have not had a farmer rearing Nile perch. For just to be honest, most of the farmers they are rear tilapia. This is mostly accessible and edible. Though Nile perch is still edible, but it is a bit tricky. You know, even its rearing and the expenditure does scare farmers.
The reason why I brought the fish issue is because we still have a lot of importation of fish from other countries, and yet most of the fish farmers from the lakeside and the western region complain of lack of markets and accessibility to our markets. Where do you sell your fish? Even I know the people in Busia are not able to get enough fish because of the prices. What makes tell us the challenges when it comes to fish farming.
First of all, finance. Finance is the biggest challenge because setting a dam, you can imagine you need to have a lot of machineries and enough funding. So finance is the biggest challenge that we have. Lands, we have some sort of nice lands, some spacious lands there. Farmers have got enough space where they can set that.
You're not like our brothers and sisters from Kisi, where now they want to make flats like in China.
Oh.
Because they are too many.
And now that one will go on at market centers where people are now have bought almost every portion of land, you know. But the rural areas, we have sufficient lands where someone can set a fish pond. That is the challenge. Another challenge is also in terms of license. You know, acquiring license to rear fish tends to be a challenge because for a specific type of fish, you have to have its license. So a dam can have as many species as possible. Then that is also a challenge. And then another challenge is also predators. Yes, we have also predators, you know. In our places, even man is a predator by itself, by himself, I mean. Yes, you may go on, like at night, they can go fish.
Without your permission?
Of course, because these are thieves. That's why I'm saying predators.
What?
Yes, there are those who are armed at times. Yes, they can go fish. When you wake up in the morning,
there's nothing
in
in
the pond.
Oh my, no way.
That is also another challenge. Security itself is also a challenge. Yes, because when a thief comes armed and you're not secure, what will you do? You have nothing to do. They will fish and go. Yes.
It's a risk, actually.
It is also
every farming venture is a risk.
Yes.
When you go to people's farms and they tell you, I'm doing this, and you go like, okay, this is very good, this is a success, but then you don't know the challenges that they actually go through. Today you've actually put them out for everyone to
Yes,
see
out
and
for
know.
everyone. And then there's also a challenge of transportation.
Mhm.
Yes, because our roads, mostly in the county, sub-county roads,
Mhm.
are not really good.
Yeah.
A lot of mud when it comes to rainy seasons,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
And also our people there, most of the people, you have to hire a vehicle. You know, fish can only be transported as fast as possible
Yes.
by use of a vehicle, which is faster than a motorbike or a bicycle, or on air, if
Yeah.
it is all about to transport to a far place.
Mhm.
And most of our people cannot access that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very true. Well, this has been the morning dew, and today we had the Diagnostic Tuesday, and also we had the interesting part where we talked about just some of the challenges that crop and animal farmers are facing in Busia County, and our guest here is coming all the way from Teso County. We'll be taking you to all these counties in the near future just to showcase to you the various activities, farming activities and farming ventures that most farmers are undertaking in Kenya. Hopefully, we'll be going even beyond Kenya to showcase our brothers in Uganda. I know they do bananas.
Yes.
Tanzania, they do tomatoes and onions.
Yes.
So we'll be going around just to showcase the various activities, farming activities that are being taken by most of the farmers in the world and within the East African region to begin with. This has been Morning Dew with me, Jackie Moore, and my guest here,
Justus Inya.
who will be coming soon in your screens, bringing you more stories to do with agriculture here on Afarmers Media. I hope to hear from you and do more drops because your voice is very appealing.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I will drop them.
Very good.
Yes.
So keep watching Afarmers Media. Another host known as Siali Kadima will be coming in shortly to tell us about how to farm for profits. And don't change the dial because today we have a long list of shows that are lined up for you. We'll also have the evening farm drive where we'll be taking you into the farms, showing you different mechanizations that farmers have embraced in their farms and the various technologies that are being used. Don't forget, we have the Plantix app that is showcasing everything. If you need diagnostics, if you need an expert advice, if you need whatever you need, just go to the Plantix app and you will be taken through the various procedures that you need to do on your crop. And this week, as we told you last week, we are having a lot of goodies. Keep the comments and questions coming in, and you never know, you could be one of our winners who is walking away with a gift hamper this week, the first from Afarmers Media. There's I've talked about keep the questions flowing, and there's one question I saw a farmer had asked. Most of the farmers probably in the Western Kenya know the maize cob. After you remove the seeds, you use them to light fire. So the farmer was asking, what else can they do with the maize cob? Because they have a lot and they don't know what else they can use the maize cob for.
A maize cob can also be fertilizer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, when you grind it, if you have a grinding machine, you can grind the maize cob and use it as manure.
Mm.
Yes, that's another use.
Okay.
You've said they know about just using it for fire.
Yes.
And maize cob as well, the ash from maize cob can be used to make this fluid that is usually used for cooking some greens.
Okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that one.
Oh my goodness.
Well, okay, tell us. Now you're interested.
Now, when you burn the maize cobs, it will produce ash.
Okay.
So from there you will apply your little chemistry or your big chemistry. Then you will apply your big chemistry whereby you sieve, and it will produce a liquid that is like black tea. Okay. Yes, that liquid is usually used for cooking some veggies, some greens.
Okay, so it has like a nutritional value.
It has a nutritional value. In fact, it is so good and is strengthening the bones from the joints. Yes, that one.
So maize cob can be used to make oil.
Yes, like you can use for cooking like mrenda,
okay,
kunde, and
So it's is it is it salt? It's called omunyu or something.
Yes, that one.
Si ungesema hivyo.
I just wanted you to feel so much interested in knowing it.
Okay. Okay, is there something more that is added, or it's just the ash?
It's just the ash, plain ash. We don't add anything else. Yes.
Okay.
So those are
Interesting.
other uses.
Now you've learned. Now you know. So keep watching Afarmers Media for more insights from us. It's have a good morning, and we'll see you then in the evening for the evening farm drive. And keep the questions coming. More goodies. We'll have jackets, gumboots, jumpers, t-shirts, capes, branded mugs, all of them branded with the Afarmers Media logo, courtesy Afarmers Media. I've been your host, Jackie Moore. Till in the evening. See you then.